to the Counterattack playthrough series. We're continuing with Operation Dauntless, the 5th tutorial scenario, Let the Shells Fly. We are starting turn 3 here. I apologize if you can hear a low fan sound in the background. It's really hot here in Southern California, and my dog is hot. Maggie, hey. So let's get going here with turn 3, the British player reset phase. Okay, for the resets phase, I've gone ahead and reset all the fired weapons, the fired artillery. There were 3 assets on the turn track, so I threw them back in here. That means we're even less likely to have some assets. And then the rules don't say when the German artillery that has been delayed, basically is reloading or whatever, or relocating, when it comes in, whether it's the first player or second player on the turn. So if it doesn't say it, I'm assuming it is right now. So they get that unit back. Let's go ahead and draw an asset. Hopefully we get one. Yes, we got the British drew fighter bombers. So to see what that does, put that down off to the side. Let's get going. With the action phase. Incidentally, the fighter bombers can make supporting and non-supporting ranged attacks, except when it's raining, which the scenario has no rain. Alright. Okay, what do we want to do here? Well, I'm not really sure how to best attack here. I think I might just want to throw British units into these 3 hexes and just hammer away on this key strong hex. It looks like from these guys I can get a raw 4-to-1 odds. Of course there's going to be quite a few shifts for the defenders. A little bit of shifts for the attackers, especially if I can get some support in there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think we'll move these guys first. So I'm going to come down off these heights so that the Germans can't spot them. I want to try to get them over here. I don't want them to come across here because I think the Germans might be able to see them. So we'll come down off these heights. 1, 2. Then I'm going to skirt out this way, 3. So you can see there's light bocage in between these guys, so these guys cannot see them. If I moved in there, since light bocage is not close to rain, I would have had to stop moving. So I'm coming around this way. 4, drop down another level. So these guys I don't think can see the center point of this hex. I think it cuts across this. If they went over here, I think they would be able to see them. Let's see. You know, actually I thought that was a hill there. It's not. No hill there. Okay, so never mind. Doesn't really matter, but 4, 5. And then we'll have the other guy do the same thing. And maybe we'll drive this guy into there. So he could ignore zones of control, so he'll go half, 1.5, 2.5, 3, 4. Next, these guys are going to go 1. So no one can friction fire on these guys, any of these guys, because they're avoiding being in line of sight while in a field. Okay, so those guys all did that. We have some more guys down here. Well, I want that wounded unit. I don't want to give the British a lost 3 points if it dies. And currently it'll be a lost point if the game when the game ends. So it's going to go 1, 2 into this village. That's going to give it quite a few bonuses when it tries to recover. Next action phase, so next turn. Let's see, these mortars back here, they are out of range, so let's see, the range is 6. I want them to at least be able to hit that target hex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I guess this one's not too bad. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm going to reposition it. So that means it can't fire this turn. It's going to go 1, 2. And then use this road back here, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10.5, 11, 12, 13. It'll use its last 2 movement points to drop off. Okay, and it is not fired, but it has taken an action, so I'll turn it down. You know, this guy might as well do the same, so I know he can make it there. It would load it onto, he could actually walk. So he'll do that. These guys here, they're good. I don't want to fire them yet. Okay, so what about these units here? They're not very useful. Maybe I'll just, they don't seem very useful at all right now. Maybe they'll, this guy's gonna load up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, unload. Yeah. And this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that. Yes. So, everyone's basically moved. They can move. Do I want to do any ranged attacks? This group here, oh, and this guy hasn't moved. This group here has not fired yet, or rather taken an action. Now, normally you wouldn't be able to fire while in an enemy zone, next to an enemy, because you'd be in their zone of control. However, we're in close terrain, so we're actually not in an enemy zone of control. So, let's see. Do I even care about firing? Yeah, why not? So they're going to do a ranged attack on these guys. The infantry range is 2. All 4 of them are going to make ranged attacks at these guys over here. It's not spotted by these guys. It's not in direct fire. So we'll just go ahead and roll for each one. So the bonuses here, -1 for being dug in, -1 for being in close terrain, -1 for being concealed. So we're actually targeting the hex, not the units. Okay, but +1 for at least a company-sized unit in the hex, and 3 platoons make a company. So that's going to be a -2 to the roll. Is there any point in even rolling? Well, the most I can roll is a 12, so... Oh, wait. So, by the way, infantry's firing, so I'm adding 5. So I rolled a 7, that's 12. -2 is 10. Now the other infantry. It's 3 + 5 -2. Nope. Now this machine gun. Why am I doing this? The best I'm going to be able to do, let's see, is 5 + 12 -2. That would be suppressed. Yeah, there's not even a point in me doing any of this. Let's just roll that back and say I didn't even bother. That's the British action phase. Yeah. By the way, the reason I was saying it's a waste is the best I could do is a suppressed result. And so these guys would suppress, and then the action phase would end, and they'd be unsuppressed. So we'll go ahead and save them. Okay, so action phase is over for the British. We'll go ahead and reset all these guys. Mortars are reset down here because they did not fire. These, not that it matters, but these anti-tank guns ready to go. This guy's resetting over here. Okay. Well, we essentially just want 1 combat here. Oh, and I forgot this guy. You know, let's just say I would have moved him over here, I think, because if I moved him here, which I was initially thinking, these guys could just obliterate him probably on their turn. So let's just say I moved him there. Okay, so I'm going to declare this location the target location. All adjacent units are going to do a combat. One thing the designer advised to me is that I should be declaring all my ranged attacks simultaneously. So I guess I did that this last turn, during this last phase, but prior turns, I guess I would make attacks, see what happened, then make other attacks. So you're supposed to really declare everything. So, you also do that during a combat, which I have been doing. So what kind of support I'm going to add? I want to keep some items in reserve. I think I'm going to throw in all of the Essex yeomanry. So we'll just throw those here. And then might as well send these fighter bombers in. And what else we have? You know, this is like probably overkill, but I have a lot of mortars on the map that I can use for defense. So I think I'm going to use the entire arsenal handed to me by High Command. Okay. Now the Germans, I think they're going to throw in their 105 millimeter artillery. They don't have much left, so but on their turn, their firing units will reset, so they might as well throw in. I'll just put it like angled like this. These infantry guns, which probably won't do anything because they're firing at a 2. Yeah, we'll see. And then the mortar. They don't have a whole lot going on. Oh, and then these guys can provide support. They can see these guys. So again, I don't think they're going to matter in the support, but we might as well just have all these guys provide support to the combat. They'll be firing right along that hex spine into this location. That will be spotted fire. Now the reason it's spotted fire, I didn't realize this in the prior turns, is because during a combat, all attackers and defenders are considered spotted. Okay, so this is going to be a big battle. Let me get the glare off if I can. Hide it behind there. Okay, let's get started with the British support. Looks like for all the modifiers, it's going to be +1 for a company size unit, -1 for dug in, -1 for close terrain. Yep, so that's a net -1. And that's it. I believe that's it. Yep. Okay, so net -1. We'll start with the yeomanry first. So here we go. Rolling. Rolled a 10 +7 -1. That is a 16. 16 is a suppressed marker. So I'm going to throw a British suppressed marker onto here. Okay, these guys fired. I guess this is going to be overkill in terms of support. Keep the yeomanry going. Whoa, got a 12. +7 is 19, -1 is 18. That's a suppressed plus a step reduction. Okay, so let's see here. There's really no good unit. They're all one-step units, so this guy was destroyed. Okay. Next, yeomanry. Got a 6, +7 is 13, -1 is 12, nothing. Gunner battery. 7 + 6 is 13, -1 is 12. Remember the minimum for a suppress marker is 14. It's a 6, not gonna cut it. Next guy. 10 + 6 is 16, -1 is 15. That is another suppress marker. Okay, this fighter bomber. 7 + 9 is 16, -1 is 15. Another suppress marker. Okay, now he's spent. He's gonna go. If I recall correctly, that was 2 turns out. Yes, on the turn track. Okay, these guys are all good. Now for the Germans. Well, this is not close terrain, so this is the best target, I think. Yeah. You know what, these guys should be... I should have declared these guys providing support too. They can fire on these guys adjacent, provided they're not in the enemy zone of control and they're not being attacked by them. Okay, so got a lot of suppression going, but we'll do this artillery, dropping it on these guys. So the modifiers here, they're not in close terrain, they're not dug in. There's at least one company of units, so that's going to be a +1. Yeah. Uh, 5 + 6 is 11, +1 is 12. Nope. Okay, so let's see. We got to roll for this guy coming back. 1 die 6 divided by 2. It's I rolled a 4, so it's a 2. 2 turns out, and that will come back into the game. Last turn. Now, how about all 3 of these guys? They're firing at range 2. They are spotted. They're all 3 strength, Raz. So modifiers looks like, okay, it's close terrain, so -1. +1 for at least a company, so they cancel each other out. And that's it, looks like. So just a straight roll. Looks like 11 and 12 will give me suppressions. So I'm just going to roll 3 times. Got an 8, 7, 8. Okay, so I guess we'll just rotate all these guys, oops, like this to show that they razzed. Okay, these guys up here, same thing, but I think it's a +1 for company size units. It's not close terrain, so I think that would be a 10, 11, 12. So much greater chance of getting something. So an 11, let's see, they all attack at a 3, yeah, so 11 plus 3 is 14, plus 1 is 15. So that does give us a suppression in this area. Okay, next guy. 5, not enough. 5 again. Okay, so these guys razzed. Okay, we are ready for the general attack. Let's take a look at this suppression situation here. Do it like this, I guess. So Germans have 4 suppression markers. Germans have 1, so I think the way to do it is these cancel each other out. And we're left with the max suppression, which is 3 right shifts for the British. So the combat odds are 40 to 8. That's 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 7 to 1, 8 to 1. Back to 7 to 1, back to 6 to 1. Back to 5 to 1 for the engineers and defense. Back to 6 to 1 for armor bonus. I don't see anything else helping the Germans here, so it's max odds. It's not a concentric attack, but it's way beyond max odds. Just trying to see if there's anything else. I don't see anything else. It's going to be rough, possibly. Let's roll. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is devastating for the Germans. So, max odds, max roll. 0 losses for the attacker, 7 for the defender. Let's see if I can even salvage a single unit here. Well, one way to look at it is 7 losses. If I just kill 2 guys off, that's 5 losses left. And then that means 5 retreats would preserve 1 of the guys. The fastest of these 3 guys, this guy's defense or movement is 4, 5, and 6. So 6 is the fastest guy. 6 minus 2, which is how you figure out your retreat range, is 4. 4 is less than the remaining 5 losses. So there's nothing I can do. They are destroyed. I'm taking the dug in marker because they're knocked out. Then we're going to advance. So the front, the British front is going to compress here if I try to stay in close terrain. So maybe we'll just advance these guys here. Yes. I just realized I forgot this support up there. I'm going to roll for it, and if real quick, and it probably won't matter, but if it does matter, I would need at least 2 left shifts, I believe. So shoot. So let's just do the infantry gun. Roll to 2, not going to do anything. Other infantry gun. Roll to 6 plus 2. No, mortar, the only one that really has a chance. 9 plus 4 is 12. I think the best location was another +1, 13. Doesn't cut it, so that's too bad. Sorry for that diversion where I totally forgot some of the German support. It's still, I would have had to shift it several more down beyond what I was thinking it was even possible to make any of those guys survive. So yeah, so these guys advanced. Yeah, that was a good assault. If they can do that every turn, Germans are in trouble. It's going to be hard, a little more difficult in here. So that's the British turn. I don't think I want any more of the ranged attacks going on. I would have had to declare them anyway. Definitely spent a lot of assets on that. That's the end of the British combat phase. Okay, German reset phase. Let's reset these fired units. There are no artillery available off map. I'll reset all these guys in a second. There's reinforcements coming. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else to reset here. German action phase. I don't really know what to do here. I mean, the British just scored a bunch of points and they're slowly eating into the points that the Germans have. So there's like some points available. Those are the dead Germans up there. To the British. British have lost 1 point from that wounded guy there. And then each bocage and woods hex in this area is worth a point to the Germans. These villages are worth, was it 2 points, I think? Each. So the Germans are slowly losing their points. Now the British gain points by taking villages. They don't gain points from the bocage, but I'm not really sure what to do. I think I need to just try to hold these two spots as much as possible. I want to get these infantry guns in a position to evacuate, I think. So this guy's going to load up 1, 2 into his half tracks. 3, 4, 5, 6, unload. And then this guy will do the same thing. Unload there. Take this away. Okay. What more units in here? We have a machine gun coming, a mortar. So we'll throw this mortar in here. So let's just say it starts loaded off map. 1, 2, or half, I guess. 1, 2, so he'll drop in right here. Okay, so it's a little artillery park there, kinda. It's not a very strong mortar though. This machine gun, so this guy can get 2 attackers on him, this only 1. Of course, these British could slide over into the clear here. So I think the machine gun's gonna go here. Am I rotating these guys right? I don't know. What's that guy doing? Oh, I just lost this. Who was there? I think that was an infantry gun. So let's say I would have moved him here to hold that dug-in position. Then finally this guy is going to cruise up through this close terrain to get up here. Okay, so that's it. Let me reset all these guys for the combat phase. That was the action phase. Okay, they've all been reset. So what to do? You know, I could mount like a massive attack on this guy, but it's only 15 here. This guy has 13, so that wouldn't be good. I could do some range attacks with these guys up here, but you know, that's all my fire capabilities right now. Beginning of next turn, I will get quite a few of my artillery units back. So maybe we're just gonna say that's it for now. Yeah, that's the end of the combat phase. Don't want to do anything here. Well, if I'm not going to do anything, I might as well do. I should have done this actually on in the action phase too. Guess I don't really think of it, but I should have had all 3 of these guys attack here in the action phase, then they reset, and then have all 4 of these guys attack here. So let's just do that. So kind of muddling this a little bit, but so these all have an attack of 3, range of 2, not spotted. It's in close terrain, so that means -1 close terrain, -1 targets concealed, +1 at least a company size unit. So it's a net -1. We're adding 3, so the most I can get is 15, minus 1 is 14. 14 is the minimum, so I need to roll 12s. Before I had to roll 11s and 12s. That was during a combat, because these guys are spotted during a combat. So here we go, 12s. I'm just going to roll 3 times, trying to get a 12. Because in the action phase there are 3 guys there, and then an engineer joined them, they reset, then the combat phase there's 4 guys. So do it again. By the way, I'm not getting any 12s, there's an 11. And a couple 8s in there, 5. Okay, so, you know, low chance of hitting these guys. They're not spotted, they're in a village. These guys are just firing their machine guns and light arms. Okay, that's end of turn.